Oh my God, hello, and welcome to Drunk Bible Stories. The book we will be defiling today is Judges, chapters like 13 to 16-ish, which is, of course, the story of Samson and Delilah, honey. Basically, the Israelites piss off God again, classic Israelites, and so he delivers them into the hands of the Philistines. Philistines? Philistines. I don't fucking care. So the Israelites are not quite like slaves to them, but they're like definitely living under their rule and they're like not loving it. But there's this one couple, Manoah and his wife, who's never fucking named, and it's so irritating to me that none of the women in this fucking book get a single name except for Delilah. However, according to ancient rabbinic tradition, it is believed that she may have been a woman named Hazelelpani. So we're gonna call homegirl Hazel for short. So Hazel can't have any kids and she's really bummed about it. But then one day, an angel of the Lord comes to her. Hey girl, what's up? You're totally gonna have, excuse me, a baby boy, and you're gonna make him a Nazirite, which is like this special kind of vow that Israelites could make. And then you cut off, no wait, you don't cut your hair. Wow, I'm already fucking this up. And then you also are not allowed to drink alcohol, and you're not even allowed to like eat grapes or raisins. They're really specific about the raisins. And then God will like bless you extra, I guess. I don't really know. Unclear. So Hazel is like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a baby. That's great. And she tells her husband, Manoah, and he's like, we don't know anything about raising a Nazirite. Also, I'm not gonna lie, my feelings are kind of hurt that like the angel didn't tell me himself or whatever. So the next day, Hazel's in the field and the angel of the Lord shows up again. And she's like, God damn it, can you please just wait like a fucking second? If you don't speak to my husband, he's gonna shit his pants. So she runs and gets him, brings him back, and Manoah's like, you're an angel of the Lord, really? Okay, what's your name? And the angel's like, dude, if I told you my name, your brain would literally fucking melt. And he's like, okay, that's a bit much. How do we raise this like special Nazirite baby? Girl, why the fuck am I doing this? I like already told you everything you need to know. Don't cut his hair, don't let him drink. I don't know, you'll like figure it out or whatever. Okay, well, do you at least want to stay for dinner and like have some goat and some bread? Oh, sweetie, I don't eat carbs. But I guess if you really want to do something, you could like give an offering to God or whatever. He loves it when you like burn shit for him. So Manoah and Hazel go and get a goat and some grain and they light it on fire. And then it turns into a pillar of fire and the angel yeets himself into heaven. Talk about a drama king. Anyway, a couple months later, Hazel has her baby and names him Samson. So some time passes. Samson is now an adult. He's wandering through downtown when he spies with his little eye this smoking hot babe. And immediately runs home and is like, Dad, I found the woman I want to marry. Slight hitch, she's not Jewish. She's a fucking Philistine. Really? You couldn't find like a single Jewish girl? Your mother's gonna fucking shit her pants. No, she's the one for me, Dad. Like, I saw her for 2 seconds. I'm sure of this. So Samson takes his mom and dad downtown to like see where this lady is at. I have to assume by context that Samson was like walking ahead of his mom and dad because out of nowhere, this lion comes charging at him and Samson rips the lion apart with his bare goddamn hands. But his parents don't see it happen and he never tells them. I have so many questions. Anyway, I guess they like go and meet her or whatever and then make plans to get married because a couple days later, Samson's heading back down to hang out with her again and he finds the lion carcass, which is still just like lying in the middle of the road. But now it's being swarmed by a whole bunch of bees and there's honey in the lion's carcass. And so Samson dips his hands into it, pulls out a fistful of honey and eats it. Don't worry, it gets worse. He takes another fistful and brings it back to his mom and dad and feeds it to them. And they're like, damn, this is some really good honey. Oh, you can't eat at everybody's house. Anyway, it's now time for the wedding feast. And remember, back then, these wedding feasts were like literally a week long. So Samson's on like day 1 of the feast and he's been given 30 groomsmen for some reason by his father-in-law. And he decides to like play a fun little game. And he's like, all right, boys, I have a riddle for you. That's what groomsmen like, right? They like riddles. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this riddle. And if you can figure out the answer before the end of our week-long wedding feast, I will literally go out and buy you all new outfits. But if you can't, then all of you have to buy me a new outfit. I'm not even kidding. That's literally what the bet was over. It was over getting new outfits, which is like arguably kind of precious. Anyway, the riddle is, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. It's about the fucking honey and the goddamn dead lion. What is with Samson and this fucking lion? Anyway, after 3 days, none of the groomsmen can figure out what the fuck the answer is. So they all go to his new bride and they're like, girl, we cannot afford to buy outfits for your fucking husband. So you better figure out what the fuck the answer to this riddle is, or else we will literally murder you and your father. And she's like, what the fuck? How did I get in the middle of this? So then she goes back to Samson, just like weeping and wailing. Oh my God, husband, you have to tell me the answer to this riddle, otherwise you don't love me. Okay, whatever, chill out, bitch. I'll tell you the answer. She runs and tells all the groomsmen. But naturally, the groomsmen decide to wait until like the last goddamn second, just for the drama, honey. Oh, see what I did there? No, but seriously, they wait till the last second and then they go to Samson and they're like, hey, you dumb bitch, we figured out the answer. It's fucking the goddamn lion you killed or whatever. And this motherfucker says, direct quote, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you had not found out my riddle. I'm sorry, did he just say you plowed my ugly cow of a wife? Yay, the Bible. Anyway, Samson's like so fucking butthurt about this that he like stomps back into town, casually murders 30 men so that he can steal all of their clothes and give them to the groomsmen as his end of the bargain. What the fuck? And then he's like, you know what? I don't even want to fucking be married to you anymore, you dumb bitch. And just like leaves her there to, I don't know, shack up with one of the 30 groomsmen. Anyway, Samson goes back to live with his parents, like a whiny little baby. And after a while, he's like, I'm bored. I'm gonna go check on my wife. And his dad is like, what the fuck? I thought you hated that bitch. I do, but I'm like, you know, super horny. Absolutely not. Why don't you go like bang her younger sister? She was way hotter anyway. What was the point of including that verse in the Bible? Anyway, you're grounded. You cannot go back to that woman. She ruined your riddle at your party, and we just really don't think she's a good influence on you. I'm like barely paraphrasing. Okay, listen. I have no explanation for what I'm about to describe. Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and then he ties them together by the tail in pairs. And then I guess he only had 150 torches because then he ties a torch to each pair of foxes. What? Then he marches all of the foxes down to the Philistine fields and lets them loose. Okay, listen. Just listen for a second. Does he also possess the power to subdue forest critters? I don't remember this story being so fucking weird. The foxes burn all their fucking fields down. The Philistines figure out, well, shit, I bet it was that petulant son of a bitch Samson, and march up to his wife's house, because they're not technically divorced, and take her and her dad and burn them alive. Naturally, this does nothing except make Samson, you guessed it, even more butthurt. So he marches back into town and just slaughters a whole bunch of them and then runs away and hides in a cave. While he's hiding in the cave, like a big strong hero man, the Philistines go up to the Israelite camp and they're like, surprise, motherfucker, we're here for that son of a bitch Samson. And all the Israelites are like, we don't know where the fuck he is. Well, you better go find him. The Israelites go marching into like the cave area where they think he's hiding. And they're like, dude, did you tie a bunch of foxtails together and then like burn down all of the Philistines' fields and shit? They started it. What is your problem? You're not gonna kill me, are you? This is absolutely a you and them problem. We're just delivering you. So they tie him up and bring him to the Philistines when the Spirit of the Lord came strongly upon him. and he breaks the ropes that were binding him, finds a loose jawbone of a donkey just casually laying in the sand, and proceeds to slaughter 1,000 men. What? And then stomps back home and becomes ruler of the Israelites for the next 20 fucking years. Don't worry, it gets worse. Some more time passes, and Samson finally, at like the end of the story, meets this little gal named Delilah. Ever heard of her, you dumb bitch? And I guess some of the important Philistines hear about this and they're like, Delilah, you're banging Samson now? Yeah, I'm banging Samson. What's the big deal? He's kind of a huge pain in our ass. Do you think you could like maybe find out why he's so fucking strong and keeps like slaughtering us? Now, this is the point in the story where they offer her money for her goods and or services, which leads a lot of scholars to think she was a prostitute. But the Bible never actually says that, so it's shitty that that's how everyone fucking teaches the story in Sunday school. But there's no denying she was a hustler, and I fucking respect that. So the first night after this deal is made, she's like, Samson, if you really loved me, you would tell me the secret of your strength and like how to get rid of it. And after what I can only assume was an utterly brain cell destroying amount of boning, he's like, yeah, babe, that's not suspicious at all. I'll tell you. All you have to do is tie me up with 7 pieces. What the fuck are you doing up there? I'm talking to my upstairs neighbor, not God. Anyway, all you have to do is tie me up with 7 pieces of sinew, and then I'll be weak like other men. So after he falls asleep, she ties him up with 7 pieces of sinew, then sneaks a couple Philistines into the room, hides them, and shouts, watch out, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. But the men hiding wait to see what happens, which was smart of them, because Samson wakes up and immediately like bursts all the sinews off, and she's like, oh, dip. You were totally lying to me. So the next night, Delilah's like, if you really loved me, you would tell me the secret of your strength and how to get rid of it. Once again, I'm not at all alarmed or concerned by this question. Of course I'll tell you. All you have to do is use brand new ropes to subdue me, and I will be as weak as any other man. She waits until he falls asleep, sneaks some Philistine men in, they tie him up with brand new ropes, and then she shouts, watch out, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. Samson wakes up and snaps the fucking ropes like they're fucking nothing. Oh my God, this is seriously giving me a headache. So the next night, Delilah's like, dude, what the actual fuck? If you loved me, you would tell me the secret of your strength so that I could destroy you. Okay, you got me. The real secret of my strength is to braid my hair into a loom that is still attached to like the loom part. You know what I mean? Like braid my hair into like the fabric-y part, but it has to still be attached to the loom. I don't know what they're called. You'll figure it out. She waits until he falls asleep, braids his hair into the fabric-y part of the loom or whatever, sneaks the Philistines in, and then shouts, watch out, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. And once again, Samson wakes up and, I have to assume, majestically shakes the loom out of his hair like it came from the American Girl doll catalog. Haha, bamboozled you again, you silly goose. So after 3 nights of failing to discover the truth, the Bible literally says that she like annoys him to the point of death. Oh my fucking God, I'm a Nazarite, okay? Ever heard of us? It basically means I'm God's favorite and I get to just like Hulk out whenever I want for the low, affordable price of staying sober forever and also never getting a haircut. I don't think Samson was very smart. Just a wild, crazy thought. Anyway, the poor dumb bitch bones Delilah till he passes out. She must have been really, really good at sex. That's the only explanation here, I swear to God. She cuts all his hair off, invites the Philistine men in, and once he wakes up, he's like, oh shit. I feel like this was really obvious now that I'm thinking about it, and I have some regrets. You poor dumb thing. Anyway, then they gouge his eyes out, just like for fun, I guess, and throw him in prison. And then the Philistines throw a giant party. So they're having this really big party at this temple, allegedly, and they're like, I don't know, making him dance for them or something. And Samson grabs the servant that like dragged him out and is like, hey buddy, I'm super blind. Could you like lean me up against some pillars in here so I don't fall over and look like an idiot? Preferably some pillars that are like structural to the building. That would be great. But then like that's what happens though. Samson leans up against some of the pillars and he's like, fuck all of you. And he pushes them really, really hard. And then the whole temple crashes to the ground and 3,000 people die. Anyway, yeah, then he's dead. But they do take his body back home to like the Israelite camp and bury him there. Did he like push the pillars apart and then like Titanic himself out of it? Like, did he just like boop? Like, I don't understand how his body wasn't buried under the temple. I mean, there's a lot I don't understand. Anyway, the point is, I don't know. I actually have no fucking idea what the point is. What is the point of this story? Don't fuck foreigners, and also women are dangerous, slutty seductresses who will be the death of you. Not my favorite. Because, like, listen. If we were Philistines, Delilah would be our hero. Samson was a giant, scary Bigfoot in town. According to legend, literally murdered 1,000 people with one tiny bone. Shut up. Remember, we're all the bad guy in someone else's story. That's all I'm saying. What's with the honey? I'm not over it. It's so weird. Anyway. I'm Sarah J. Ruthless, and this has been Drunk Bible Stories. And remember, you can't eat at everybody's house.